Hey Pandalings, my name is the Black Belt Panda and this is tutorial number 9 where we're going to be making some upgrades to the bunker. In this particular tutorial we'll be upgrading the entrance and outside the entrance, so this will involve some more redstone. First of all, as you can see, this is I don't know if you recognize it, but this is the front of the bunker. I went ahead and changed it up a little bit to make it a little more natural, a little bit harder to see. And I apologize if I sound terrible. I'm pretty sick at the moment, but I wanted to get this tutorial in for you guys, so hopefully my sick voice sounding whatever doesn't detract from the tutorial too much. Let's see. I changed the landscape up a little bit out here, and I will show you why when we get to the upgrades. But first, as you can see, someone recommended I use lava behind the bars. I went ahead and did that, and it looks really good, and it makes it a lot brighter. So that's one thing you could do, is just put some lava behind the iron bars. One easy way to do that, to remove the torches, break that, and then you can reach the torch, break the torch, and you can put the lava in from here, but the lava can't flow out because of that iron bar. And then you just put your stone back. Let's go up in here. As you can see, a little bit of the roof is dirt now, and that's because we camouflage the outside a little bit better, so we have to sacrifice a few, of the nice looking pieces of stone slabs, but, it makes it look better from the outside. It's important that it stays hidden because it is a bunker. So, let's get started. You're going to need a tree if you want to do it the way I did it. You can just plant the tree right out here. The reason being is people don't really look at trees too much when they're looking for hidden switches and levers and buttons and stuff, and we're putting our button on the tree. And the button's going to go right in here, so it's going to be kind of tricky to see from out here. But first, let's get the door in. Now, to do that, we need to put it, and you want like a few blocks missing from here, because we're not going to put it here, we're going to put it here where the stone is. And now I've got the inside already all marked up where I'm going to be putting everything. I use different blocks for different things, so hopefully that makes it easier. Mossy cobble is for pistons, so we're going to put a sticky piston there and a sticky piston there. And then what you're going to want to do is grab a dirt block, or a couple dirt blocks, put them there like that. Now, over here, we're just going to break out a few blocks so we can get in here. What you want is a button, and you just want to put that button on this block right here. I think this block used to be a torch. We're going to grab some redstone torches, some redstone dust, redstone repeaters. That should be good for now. Alright, so you want some redstone underneath the button, and we're going to run it down this way, and that's going to go down there later. But first, we're going to get this running here. We're going to put behind the block with the button on it, so right here on these stone blocks, the brick blocks, we're going to put 2 repeaters and set each of them 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 ticks. Alright, you're going to want to put some redstone. Now the regular stone blocks is where I put redstone. Up here, put it on top of this brick block and next to it. The brick blocks are for torches, so we'll put a torch there, and we put some redstone there and some redstone there. And now if we come over here, you'll see the door is activated, and we've got dirt out there. So if we come over here and we push the button, as you can see, it opens the door. Pretty cool. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do is head out there to that tree. We're going to put a button right here. And now if we look here, you can see this is directly under the tree. So we want some redstone directly under the tree. And then I'm just going to grab a grass block here and put that grass block back. And now I'm going to bust out these real quick so I can get back in here. And I'm just going to put them back. So, if we come down here, or around the back, over here, you can see the tree. And there's the redstone we just put. So what we want to do is, since we've got these brick blocks here, we're going to put repeater 1 and 2 repeaters. Set them both to 3 ticks, just like the other one. And that just delays the signal 3 ticks and then another 3 ticks to give us enough time to walk through the door. And we're going to put redstone there, and now that is connected to this block here. Now I'll go ahead and explain this really quick. As I already said, the repeaters delay the signal, so it'll take longer to get over here. This is an inverter, so when the redstone is powered, this torch turns off. And when this torch turns off, this redstone turns off, and then the pistons turn off, which means they retract, which pulls the dirt, because they are sticky pistons. And then once the dirt is pulled, the door is open. As you can see, door opens. And I saw there's a little bit of a delay. That's what those repeaters do. Now if you watch over there, you'll see it in action. The torch turns off, which turns the pistons off. Now the buttons are momentary switches, so they will pop back out, and then the signal turns off again, which turns the redstone torch back on, repowering the pistons, closing the door. And the same goes for the switch on the outside as well. It works exactly the same. It's got the repeaters, and it just runs to the same inverter. You have to make sure they run to the same inverter so that they both will power the door properly. Okay, next thing we want to do is we're going to run this redstone that we started going down here. Keep going down, and now we're down here. Now it gets a little bit tricky. So I'm going to go outside really quick so you can see what I'm doing. This might get a little confusing. What we want right here is a little bridge. I want it to pop up when we open the door. So we're going to break these grass blocks here, and these ones as well. And I see we've got mossy cobble, which means we need to use sticky pistons. So we're going to put a sticky piston on each of these all the way down here, and then we're going to put grass blocks on top of those. And now that is directly in front of the door, so this is what's going to pop up. Now we can go ahead and head back down under there. Oops. I'm lagging a little bit, so it's making it a little bit difficult. Okay. Okay, so we head back down under here, and there's the pistons we just put in. So you see we got the stone brick blocks. We're gonna put some repeaters on those, one on each block, and then we're gonna run redstone down the line here. Now the reason we do that is if we just run redstone like that, you see it just makes a straight line. It doesn't connect to the block. We want it to connect to the block. And you power pistons by powering the block below them. And that's why we're putting the repeaters going to the block below the pistons. Now the next thing we need to do is we want to hook this up to a toggle, but we want the buttons to remain momentary and act as a toggle switch. So what we need to do is make what's called a T flip-flop. And what that lets us do is use the buttons as toggle switches. A toggle switch would be something like a lever. You flip it on and you can flip it off. It doesn't turn on and off automatically after you push it like a button. So this particular toggle switch uses pistons. We're going to need sticky pistons. So what you do is you've got, as you can see here, I've got a 4 wide channel dug out and then a 2 wide channel underneath. We want to put a torch right there on the brick block, and then we're going to put a sticky piston there and a sticky piston there. Okay, now the next thing we're going to want to do is I'm going to use this stone. We're going to put a block there right on top of that torch, and then a block on top of that, and a block covering up the hole. And what we want to do now is put a torch on that side and a torch on that side, and then put redstone on the top. Now we need our output. This is our output. The torch here is our output. So we need to run redstone from the output to the repeaters. We also need an input. The input is the redstone on the top. So we're going to run that to our input over here. And now you see this wiring's pretty long, so we're going to put a repeater. The power will run out after so many blocks. I think it's 14 or 15 blocks. So we have to have repeaters when we have too many redstone blocks, too much redstone wiring. And that's why it's called a repeater, because it repeats the signal. So I'm just going to hook that up there. And now when we push that button, a signal's going to travel down through this wire. It's going to get repeated at this repeater, and it's going to travel to the top over here. And what happens then is it supplies power, which causes the piston to push the block on bottom over top of this torch. When the block travels over the torch supplies power to it, which supplies power to this redstone wiring and activates the pistons. So if we go back up here to the button and activate it, oops, lag, sorry. You can see it went up and down. I don't know if you saw it, but it did. Now, one thing we want to do is we want to make sure we can turn the bridge back off from the outside. And I know it's dark, so I apologize if it's a little bit difficult to see, but I have some blocks over here next to the garden wall. I'm going to put a button on that block right there, and then I'm going to dig down here, and under the button I'm going to put redstone, and I'm going to run it down a few blocks. I'm going to cover that back up. And now we can go back down under. So back down here. If we come over here, here's the redstone we just ran down here. So you can see the stone brick block up there that we put the button on. So we want to continue running that redstone wiring, and we want to make sure we don't run it to this piston, and we're going to hook it up to the same circuit. So now that button up there will activate. And now what happens is when this is, like I said before, it supplies power, and then what will happen is this will push the block back over, whichever direction is opposite from where it's at now. If the block is over there like it's at now, whichever button we hit, it doesn't matter which one, it will cause that block to go over the torch and turn this bridge on. If we hit a button again, it'll push the block over, and again, it doesn't matter which button we push, but it will push the block back over, cutting off the power, and these will retract. I hope that's easy enough for you to understand. Now we have the ability to turn the bridge on and off from inside and out. So if we do that, the timing is pretty good too. So the bridge is on, and now we can turn the bridge off from out here. As you can see, we can walk away and nobody will see the bridge. When we come back, we can hit this button to turn the bridge on, and we can walk back over here. Only thing is, if you look, when we open this door and walk in here, the bridge is still up. So if we hit this button, it's going to turn the bridge off, and the bridge will go down, and that's not what we want. So what we need to do now is have the bridge retract when we hit this button here to go inside. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. We'll come back over here, and you see where we have the button on the button's on the bottom block of this tree, and there's the redstone from the button. We're going to want to run it down there as well, and we're going to need a repeater. And now the reason we want this repeater is for the repeater's other function. A repeater acts as a one-way diode. This means that power will go in the direction of the arrow. I don't know if you can see the arrow, but there's an arrow right there. It's pointing that way. Power will travel through the repeater in that direction, but it cannot travel back through the repeater in the other direction. And the reason we want this is because we're going to hook it up to the same circuit. And we don't want the door to open when we push the button over on that stone brick block by the garden. Because if we don't have this repeater, it'll send power up here and open the door when it puts the bridge up. And that'll give away the door's location if anybody accidentally discovers the bridge. Don't want that. So make sure you have this repeater here. We're going to run some redstone down that way, down here, and right there. And that connects it to the same circuit. And that is the entire redstone circuit for this hidden door and bridge. So now you can see the bridge comes up. We walk away, we can turn the bridge off so no one sees it. If someone comes by and accidentally discovers the bridge, boom, the door doesn't open because of that repeater, and they just see this bridge and they're like, oh hey, cool, a bridge. So it lessens the chance that they'll actually discover the door if you're building this on a server. So then you can hit this button here and run through the door. The bridge is off now. So if we hit this button again, you can see the bridge comes back on. So I hope that was easy enough for you to understand. So the next thing we want to do is, great, now it's raining, is we're just going to cover this up. So we'll use some stone, and we'll just put our stone blocks here and cover that up. And we're done. There we go. We have our hidden doorway and bridge. And now the rain is going to make it even laggier, so I'm going to go ahead and sleep the night off so you can see it a little bit better and hopefully get rid of the rain. Okay, we got rid of the rain. Good. Now, let's head over here, back over to the bunker. Here we go. Now, you may have noticed, like I said before, I changed the landscape a little bit, and there's a reason for that. Don't forget to cover up that block there. Not sure how that got uncovered, but it did. But anyway, there is a reason that I changed the landscape. And if we come over here, we're going to break a hole right there. Now, obviously, you don't have the same world as I do. So basically what you want to do is grab a bucket of water, pour that in the hole, and you'll see the water travels down here. And now we're going to put another bucket of water over here in this corner. And now when we retract the bridge, we get a little stream. So I can jump here. That looks pretty good. And now what we want to do, what the point of this is one, to hide the entrance a little bit better so that it's more difficult for people to discover it, and two, to help keep mobs out from the front of the door when you're going to leave. So if you've got like, skeleton or zombie or whatever wandering around out here, if you come out the door, there's a good chance, they're getting carried away by the water and can't come at you, hang on, let's see. Go ahead and break that block there. So we've got, now, like I said, you probably aren't going to have the same map as me. So what you want to do is find your source block somewhere on one side of your door. Preferably, if you've got it on a hill, you want further up the hill. Find a place for your source block. And then you want to just change the landscape up a little bit to make sure the water flows down past the entrance. And you want to make it look like, either you could do a natural look, so it looks like it, was already there, or you can make it look like you built it there, like part of a garden or something. So I went with, the look, I built it, because I've got my garden next here, so it kind of looks like I built a neat little stream going next to it. And that way, when people come by here, if I was on a server, they come by here and they say, hey, that's a pretty cool stream, and they don't think, well, there's something on the other side, So, like I said, it's a good way to make it a little less obvious that you've got the entrance to your bunker over there. Let's see. Okay. Trying to think. A few tips. when you're hiding your entrance, let me go ahead and put the bridge up. Make this a little bit easier. You can see the bridge cuts off the water flow. You can walk across it now. But when you're hiding your entrance here, try not to make two empty dirt blocks like that. Because when people see, two spaces of dirt blocks like that, generally they think hidden door. When there's one space, people are less likely to think hidden door, simply because a lot of people don't like one wide doors. So this makes it a little bit easier to hide. Also, if you want to make it a little less suspicious on a server, you could break random blocks around the area. Just, pick a few random blocks and just bust them out, something like that. And what it does is it makes it look like, well, don't break blocks that obviously stuff under them, but it makes it look like Endermen have been here. And the benefit to that is that people will be less suspicious when they come over here and they see things like, there's a block missing here, or there's a block missing there. When they see all the other missing blocks, they'll just say, well, Enderman came by and just, picked them up and walked away with them, So it's a good way to kind of lower the amount of suspicion when someone is wandering by the area. And this, of course, is only useful on a server, if you're going to build this on a server. And always remember to push that button when you leave to hide your bridge, so that it's not as obvious, and then you can walk away. So I suppose that's it for this particular tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out. Just, like I said, you're probably not going to be on the same map as me, so just take the information I gave you and, conform it to the particular map that you're working on. I will make this map available for download eventually when I have enough content on it. I haven't decided when that's going to be, but right now the map is kind of empty in my opinion, so it's going to be a little while yet. Let's see. Also, I will be doing more upgrades to this bunker. Right now I'm just working on getting, the hidden aspects in, and then I'm going to work on, turning it into a complex like I had mentioned before. So you can go ahead and look forward to that. If you like the video, please click the like button. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job. And if you haven't subscribed already, do note that subscribing instantly makes you a pandaling. So if you want to be a pandaling, subscribe. And like I said, I'm putting out more videos. I'm going to put out lots and lots more videos. Things have been slow lately, I know, but that's just because I'm here visiting my parents in New York, and right now I'm sick, so it's not helping too much. Yesterday I couldn't move. I was in bed all day. It was bad yesterday. And I normally don't get sick. I've got a pretty good immune system, so I don't know what was up with that. I guess, I don't know, I did something wrong, apparently. Thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions for the bunker, please put those in the comments. Like I said, someone suggested the lava, someone suggested the hidden entrance, someone suggested the moat out front and, hiding, or the moat out back and hiding the front. So pretty much all what I'm doing to the bunker right now is suggestions. I do have my own ideas as well, which I will be doing. And sometimes I like to change people's suggestions up a little bit. Like they come up with something like one person said a moat, and I thought, well, hey, cool, you know what? I can just do this instead, but I did base the idea off of their suggestion. So also, any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments, and I will answer. I apologize if I'm a little slow to getting around to them lately, but I will get to them. Trust me, I read every single comment. The only time I miss comments is when they don't show up in my inbox, which is getting pretty common lately, unfortunately, so I have to actually check the videos to see if I missed comments. So thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome. Please stick around. I'll be putting out a lot more videos, and I was thinking about making a request video to Luckland for the Pimp My Channel thing. What do you guys think about that? Do you think I should ask him to pimp my channel? I mean, what's your stance on that? Do you think it's too desperate or not? I mean, I think Luckland's a pretty cool guy, and getting my channel pimped would help me a lot. I don't see it as desperate or anything. It's just one more thing I can do to help build the Pandalink community. But I'd like to know what you guys think. So tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching. This is the Black Belt Panda, and I will talk to you in the next video.